Kohli, you're batting too slowly. That's how Pat Cummins, the non-playing Australian captain for the series, previewed the Champions Trophy in the Amazon Prime preview for the tournament. And Kohli, funnily enough, did bat a bit slowly today against Pakistan, but still won the game.
I'm not surprised if you were the one who was helping out with the script for Pat Cummins, knowing your rich history with Kohli. There is never winning you over, is it, when it comes to Kohli? He could do anything under the sun and you would still find fault. Doesn't matter if India wins, if it doesn't matter if India wins the tournament, but let's find a way to blame Kohli.
I can't honestly blame him today. He aced the chase. And but before that, before we talk about the game, let's talk a bit about the tournament.
Oh
What
yeah,
is the Champions Trophy? Why is the Champions Trophy?
why Champions Trophy? I think that's the question. It's
Yeah.
very safe to say that none of us cared about it, and in a lot of ways, we were all like very late to the party to join in on the action. Speaking of being late to the party to join on the action, we also have Gandalf come in. So why Champions Trophy is the perfect question to ask, right? It's been a long time, and nobody has really cared about ODIs in a while. Safe to say that. But somehow the ICC tournaments have this way of working itself out. They have that magic, and it just takes like one or two wins from your team for you to, you know, take the tournament seriously. Up until then, you are playing this card of, I don't care about ODIs, I don't care about this tournament. And once you realize, right, it doesn't matter if my captain is missing, if it doesn't matter our entire frontline bowling is missing, we are still going to win games this tournament. Maybe I'm gonna go quiet on the whole, yeah, this is a meaningless trophy, and jump on the hype train. Does that sum up all our viewpoints on Champions Trophy 2025?
Yeah, I think in India there was this thought that now that the IPL schedule is out, let's just get started with the IPL. Why wait for this Champions Trophy? But then I think almost everyone who watches cricket or even doesn't watch it is excited for India Pakistan. So you're right. When your team wins, especially a big match, everybody gets into the groove. And I mean, about the debate of whether a tournament is meaningless or not. I mean, why is cricket meaningful? Like cricket it's a sport. Like it's not meaningful. It is entertainment. Everything is meaningless in terms of sport. I mean, I won't go into saying life is meaningless. And
Yeah,
all
somebody
that,
has been
sport,
looking
but
at a lot
sport,
of Nawal Ravikant tweets.
sport is entertainment. I mean, why draw meaning from entertainment? So if the data is saying that enough people watch something and it is entertaining for enough people, it is meaningful. That's what I think, and that's my answer against critics who say that bilaterals are meaningless. I mean, people are watching it. Some people are earning money off it. People are getting entertained. There is enough meaning. That's enough meaning for something to exist. Hey, Khandal.
Yeah, Gandalf has the vibe of somebody we kidnapped to do this stream. I'm gonna chalk that off to the usual poor internet and Gandalf trying to figure out muting and unmuting.
Travis had got out first ball yesterday, and Kandalf got rid of his Travis stash.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I've been having bad connectivity, but hopefully now it's perfectly connected with the Wi-Fi, so you can all hear me. But great points on the relevance of ODIs and the relevance of ICC trophies in general. I think the same, like Chris said, I totally resonated with that. It just takes a couple of wins from your team to feel that you are actually caring about what's going on in this world of cricket or the format. I think brilliant win to start off. No one expected. I think we all needed that. There was this not even second string lineup, not even like the future. You have folks who are above 30, and Pat Cummins is also in the same age group. And I don't think this is the future Australian bowling lineup either. Maybe by the time the big three retire, it would be probably someone else who will come up the ranks. But anyway, but great start for both India and Australia.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Arshit, as well.
India. See, at what point I think anybody looking at the thumbnail, they'll probably resonate with it, right? Oh, nice. Shirt under a shirt, two-shirt gimmick. Archit today. At what point does this rivalry stop being meaningful? We had like one odd win in what, some 30 years of ICC tournaments from Pakistan a couple of years back, and now it's business as usual. It, see, this is supposed to be a home tournament. I know the game was played in Dubai, but it didn't look like Pakistan were ever in the game, like psychologically, despite winning the toss and choosing to bat first, meaning their strong bowling lineup uh, will still be an ace up their sleeves in come the second half, right? But it didn't look like they came out there to win.
Yeah, I mean, Pakistan batted like it's 2002. Like ODI cricket, you cannot bat like that anymore. It's just harakiri. Pakistan lost the game in the first 20 overs. There's no coming back. First 30 overs probably. There was no coming back from that. They were like there was a phase where I think they were batting at what 3 and over. That's just ridiculous, and they were not taking any sort of impetus to up the scoring rate, especially when Rizwan was batting. Uh, you cannot win an ODI match. I mean,
Yeah,
like
in a
that.
lot
You
of
cannot
cases,
aim for 250.
Mhm.
300 is the new 250. You have to aim for at
Yeah.
least 300, even on a difficult pitch,
Right. It was
which they were never looking to do.
I guess they just counted too much on their bowling lineup. Just I don't know if it's unfair to say, but based on the two games, just drinking little too much of their own Kool-Aid. Their bowlers, given the batting lineup of every other team out there, I don't think their bowling lineup is as feisty as they make it out to be, and time and again they are going to fall short. And I guess, like, for all intent and purposes, they're already out of the tournament.
Yeah, they are practically out of the tournament. And India bowled really well. Even though Shami did not get any wicket, he was nice up front. I think a couple of overs he was a bit haywire. Even Harshad Rana was a haywire for a couple of overs. But then I think when Shami came back from his slight injury niggle, he was much better. Harshad Rana bowled a couple of tight overs. The spinners, as usual, bossed the middle overs, and I think it was a very classic Indian squeeze by the spinners. So and also kudos to Hardik Pandya actually for stepping up when Shami was not there, and he was seaming the ball quite a bit. In fact, which makes me think Arshdeep would have been really good on this pitch. Arshdeep would have knocked like Pakistan even for like less than 175 in my opinion. But then the grass is always greener on the other side. Speaking of green, how good were Australia yesterday? I mean, England
Before
putting up
before we
350.
get before we get there,
Yeah.
Archit, I just wanted to say that you were a little kind to say that Pakistan were batting like 2002. Uh,
92
they were batting
was
like the mid. They, they were batting like the mid 90s, and I think
Yep.
India bowled well too. But what were they thinking? Like 25 overs, 100 runs,
Yeah,
two
when
wickets.
we said
That is a
channel
mid.
the Imran Khan energy, we didn't mean with
Yeah,
the run rate.
it was really funny. I mean, the one point that I wanted to make here was that this is no more a rivalry. Guys, come on. I mean, even we have had mid-tier English sides and Australian sides, and it still continued to be an Ashes rivalry. But this has gone beyond rivalry. I mean, beneath rivalry. It is probably a total India show for the last so many years. And I don't think
It's just
the
a marketing
Pakistan
gimmick at
team.
this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, it's
Spot
just
on.
marketing. Yeah, yeah,
It'll remain a
purely.
yeah. It's just marketing, and even the players don't have that kick which they have against
Exactly.
Australia. Like Indian players are charged
Oh
up
yeah.
against Australia, which I mean
Yeah,
they are professionals, so they do their job against Pakistan, but they know
Mm.
it's not
exactly.
a very difficult contest.
Yeah.
which is
Exactly.
hasn't been, as you said, for a while. And
Mm,
obviously
Yeah.
it's marketing because of the political situation, so there will be some tension amongst the crowds always,
yeah. The
again because of the
aura
Correct.
political
surrounding
situation.
the game rather than what's going on in the pitch as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the Australia England game, I also want to point out what I see as a problem with this Pakistan lineup, especially the likes of Babar Azam and Rizwan. As soon as they have this captaincy strain on their shoulders, there is just too much pressure on themselves. It's like they don't want to lose their wicket, they don't want to take any risks. They would rather just, take a playbook out of Virat Kohli since the pandemic and just do this little milestones, maybe 50, maybe 75. Like, see, South Shakil and Rizwan, they batted for 150 odd balls. When you're doing that much, you've got to be scoring like 200 or 230. Like, no one batsman's wicket is so precious where you can be scoring at, a strike rate of 60, let alone like your captain. And this is not the first time it's happening with Pakistan. Until like they go back and fix their psyche on how they go up against India, I don't see any change in the results anytime soon.
Yep. They need like a baseball type makeover.
Yeah. The only surprise I have had was that I see Pakistan are the defending champs in this. And I was really shocked. I didn't know this because, I mean, Champions Trophy, who really cares, right? So I didn't really know. But I was really shocked to know that they are the defending champs in this format. And probably, no one expects them to live up to that. But yeah, I mean, this is not a team. There are a lot of things going on within the management. There was a coach who left, the support staff changed, captains, factions within
You
the
could say
team.
that like in any time in the last 20 years, and that would
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
SCA's with Pakistan.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Right. I think with that,
I also want to mention. I mean, Pakistan was pretty average in this match, but when I saw that total that Pakistan put up, I knew that this is right up Virat Kohli's. Uh, like it's he can do it with a left hand, he can do it with one eye. It's a chase that he has done a million times. He can score 100. I thought he'd score 100 in 130 balls. He did it faster than that in 111 balls.
can we just pause the show and check up what the video archiving situation at the Louvre Museum is? Because we need to hang this up. Archit complimenting Virat Kohli.
I mean, nobody can boss a 250 or 240 to like 280 run chase better than Virat Kohli. Above that,
Yeah.
not sure,
Well,
but
I guess you
yeah,
don't
Yeah, actually, the fact
back
is that
at it.
Virat Kohli makes such chases look like absolutely rubbish. He just, does it in like 30, 35, 40 overs and then gets done with it.
yeah.
Right. I think with that we should move on to our game, and I also have my gimmick. Gandalf already has his cap on.
Hmm. And
Right.
clearly, this is being handed over to practically as any person on the streets of Melbourne and Sydney these days.
Oh, well, don't forget it's just one of those kids who got handed it randomly, who kicked your ass in the Border Gavaskar Trophy.
That's true.
Um,
But yeah, but I mean, to chase that against a bowling lineup of Wood and Archer, that was quite incredible. And
Yeah,
after
actually, it
Smith
was a
and Head got out.
pretty settled bowling lineup. That's what I was
Hmm.
impressed about. Like, you have Jofra Archer, Wood, Adil Rashid. These are like
Yeah.
pretty good. They're not ordinary one-day international players. They are pretty settled or one-day players and proven too in across conditions, and they are good. And you had someone like Bryden Cars as well, who is also great English talent. He probably played a few Test matches, debuted already. I'm not sure, but I think he's good. So, um, Chris, you're speaking on mute, I guess. I know I can't hear Chris, but yeah. what I was trying to say is that, yeah, so I think it was a pretty good batting show, and it just proved that both Carey and English can bat in the same team.
Chris, you're on mute.
So I was swearing. I guess that is probably why it got cut off. I don't know much about cars, but based on what he did yesterday, I thought the C in his name was silent because that was very. Apparently, YouTube didn't want me to say that the first and second times, but yeah, let me just get that out of the way. I guess I also owe an apology to Josh Inglis at this point. I've been super critical of him. I'm Archit and he's my Kohli at this point. I was
And I think I quickly want to recall that Chris was very critical of Josh Inglis right from the World Cup, where he actually played a very crucial innings against South Africa in the semi-final. And Chris was like going really hammer and tongs on this guy. He was like saying that he was playing at a very poor strike rate. But when the match was won purely due to Josh Inglis and I think Manas Labuschagne or someone who actually played spin well, both of these players really took Australia home in the semi final before they made it in the final with Travis Head. But I think finally, some of these players like Alex Carey and Josh Inglis, they are proving both of us wrong in different ways. I was never a fan of Carey in the Test side,
in my defense,
and
I've
then
always been a fan of Alex Carey. I've called him poor man's Dean Elgar, so my hands are clean in that situation. Now it's Archit's turn to speak on mute. I think he's speechless by Archit.
English also played really well in the World Cup final, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which didn't happen.
yeah.
What?
See, at the end of the day, sorry, Chris, I'll just make this point. At the end of the day, I'm not sure if Australia will go the distance in this tournament, but really good signs with the batting. But you never know with Australia, right? They can pull off stuff with even sometimes second string bowling attacks. If someone just shows up on their day, they can probably win an ICC tournament. So it's still hopeful situation for us fans.
I still don't think we have the mileage to take this all the way to the finals. This is not a bowling lineup that can win you a tournament.
Exactly.
Guys, do you know the Pat Cummins anthem on Indian meme Instagram?
I have no idea.
You guys know?
I have no idea. It's in the Kohli story, which you already.
It's a Punjabi song which plays whenever, like Pat Cummins, whenever there's a meme related to Pat Cummins, there's a Punjabi song called "Pagal Hoye Jabo" which plays. It's a thing. Like it now. Like Pat Cummins is called the owner of that song. Anyway, why I'm saying that is because yesterday there were memes on Indian cricket Instagram about how Steve Smith is the new owner of this song. Sorry, I know it doesn't make sense if you're not part of this cricket meme world, but it was funny when I saw it. Forget it.
No, we'll definitely watch it when we get the chance. But
Travis Head also has a song, by the way. I'll send these things to you offline so that you're part of
this guy. Travis has traumatized Indian fan base so much. He could get out in the first over of an innings.
Travis has a Haryanvi song, which is his anthem in the meme world.
Well,
I'm sure.
Again, shout out to Carey and Inglis. I think one of the other reasons why they've never been put in the same lineup as the keeper situation, and Carey actually answered that brilliantly with an absolute screamer yesterday. He told the world, "Hey, I'm ready to field wherever you want, wherever you want, and I'm not gonna stand in the way of having two keepers in the side." Right? It's a very small detail, but it ends up making a lot of difference because teams usually just pick one keeper in the playing 11, and that had definitely played in our minds in the past. We got past that yesterday, and it worked out remarkably well, more than what anybody could have imagined.
I think it's
Um,
the same confusion that England have had over the years with Johnny Bairstow and Josh Butler playing the
mm,
same team.
yeah.
And I'm sure India also faces that once in a while with KL Rahul and
Mm.
when MS Dhoni used to be there and some other keepers. But they're not like pure keepers like Johnny Bairstow or Butler or Carey or Inglis.
So how worried should England be? The basketball really lived up to the expectation yesterday. They didn't give away their wickets like they usually do. 350, I know it was a belter of a pitch and whatnot with the second innings due and everything, but still, you can't allow teams chasing freaking 350 in ODIs.
I don't see England doing well in this tournament at all. I don't know if you guys followed the India England series, but India absolutely thrashed England both in the T20s and the
Is
ODIs.
it the same lineup though? That
It's the
was
same lineup. It's the same lineup in the ODIs. In
mm,
T20s, obviously, you don't have Root.
okay. Hmm.
Apart from Adil Rashid, nobody else gave India any hiccups.
Hmm.
So I don't. My money's not on England to qualify from
Yeah.
this group. I think it'll be South Africa and Australia.
Hmm. Huh, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking
You guys,
of
you guys continue. I have to jump.
yeah, so we face South Africa up next. So that's like
Massive
a
game,
precursor to WTC as well. What do you
I would
think
say. Yeah.
our odds are?
No, I think definitely not going in as favorites with the kind of bowling lineup we have. I think when we had a decent bowling lineup back in the past, South Africans chased down freaking 430 odd against us. So they have this knack of chasing big totals against Australia, even with decent bowling lineups.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if
It's
Nathan
not
Ellis,
gonna really
Sean
rain
Ahmed.
in Pakistan, is it?
Sorry.
It's not gonna rain, is it? No Duckworth Lewis or
Uh,
anything.
no way, no way. It's not going to rain. The only thing that can save us is some goodwill that we have with Pakistan when we visited last. At least some good things that we did by playing there and also by raving about the non-vegetarian food that Usman Khwaja and team had there. But other than that, I don't think there will be any favors from the pitch or the weather. I think South Africa favorites definitely going into this game. They have the big hitters. They have the nice new, young, fresh fast bowling lineup. Apart from the seasoned ones like Rabada, but Australia definitely will rely a lot again on their batting. If they are going to chase it, then probably they can pull it off like they did against England. But if they're going to really fall short by playing first, batting first, then I don't think they have a chance. Yeah,
Yeah, I think South Africa is probably the favorites in the tournament along with India.
yeah,
I
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't give this Australian side a chance. Um anyway, like we didn't give them any
Yeah,
um
I mean, I'm happy to not give them any chance
yeah,
and
no
be surprised
expectations.
and
Yeah.
pleasantly so. Yeah, than
Yesterday
be
was
shocked at
fun,
what they.
but I would still like to think it was one off. It's not a true mark of this side
Yeah,
that can go all the way.
same here. Yeah. But while I was watching yesterday, I also felt that, of course, I'm very happy to see some of the old stars shine, like Maxwell really going big, and
Oh, yeah.
some of them
I think we should
bat the
talk
way
about,
they.
or at least give a shout out to Maxwell's ODI career. I don't know about you. Yesterday,
Oh
I
yeah,
had no idea. That was the first time I realized he has like 4,000 runs at an average of
he. Probably,
35 or something, batting
yeah,
at five down
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
later with a
exactly,
strike rate of
exactly.
120.
Yeah,
That's
people always
impressive.
rate people. People always rate all rounders like Andrew Simons, at least in the Australian circuit. Andrew Simons and some others higher than Glenn Maxwell. But I think Glenn Maxwell is one phenomenal player that we have had in the last 15, 20 or more than that. So he's that kind of a phenomenon. Big show, not for nothing. So we'll
Yeah.
definitely have to
I mean,
dedicate an
we give him
episode when he
his due
finishes his
flowers in
career.
T20, right? But in
Yeah,
ODIs, he
yeah,
is beast of a player who probably doesn't get enough credit for what he does.
Absolutely.
Um, and
Absolutely.
he is
Yeah,
like the
that's
most
also because he comes
experienced.
in pretty late. It comes in pretty late, but does what he does best within those 15, 20
Oh yeah.
balls. Or sometimes when he comes in early, he plays a very stable innings, and that's why his average is hovering around 35.
Mm.
Although he bats at like 5 or 6, or sometimes based on the situation, 7. Yeah.
Well, I guess he owes a thanks or two to Marnus Labuschagne, who makes sure that Maxwell has enough time in the crease. But
Yeah.
other than
Yeah.
that, before we wrap up, anything else that you would, take away and say, hey, I look forward to this. This could probably be something that we can count on to go deep into the tournament.
See, I would really be excited for some of the new batters, but every team has batters. What distinguishes teams here is probably the ability to stem the flow of runs, especially if the pitches are flat and dew factor coming in. Players like Nathan Ellis come in really handy. Adam Zampa, Nathan Ellis, these guys can, if they can really get 20 overs and give away only like 120 odd runs, or less than 7 runs per over, 6.5 per over, that should be really good economy. And
Yeah,
I think
if
that will make a
somebody
huge,
listening to
huge,
this,
huge
they'll
difference.
be
Yeah.
rolling
So
their eyes
I think,
when you
yeah,
say
probably,
6 runs, 7 runs an over. But you
yeah,
are right. In Pakistan, that is the standard. It's not your
no,
typical ODIs where 5 runs an over or 5.5 is going to win you games. Chances are we
yeah,
are going to see more or less, 320s or 340s. Somebody
correct.
called it like the Gemini flyover of a pitch.
Yeah, no,
Most
definitely.
pitches are that flat.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. For me, players like Nathan Ellis and Adam Zampa, these are crucial for us to get us home. And like if part timers like Glenn Maxwell, Matt Short, and Travis Head can get together like 10, 15 overs and quickly move through, that should do the trick. So this is a very critical part in getting Australia through to the semifinals for the finals. But again, like we discussed, have no hopes high, but we would rather be
Right.
surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just cross our fingers. So the game plan is very straightforward, right? If we keep winning games, nothing like
Yeah.
ODIs. Every trophy is meaningful. If not, nobody cared about this to begin with. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
All
We'll
right.
see you
Yeah.
next weekend with the next
Thank
set of
you. Thank you,
championship
everyone. Yeah.
games.
All
Yeah.
right. Bye bye.